the second floor. I hope I won't be able to have discussions. I don't have any outro.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, now I can hear you.
We got ourselves a Jeff.
Loud and clear, Jeff.
Are we gonna hear gremlin noises?
That is a
go with the whole place.
I'm not sure. Hey, dear, are you loving me?
That's so bright.
Oh, they're asking if you're going to need gremlin money.
Yeah, it looks like something's like taking over your screen right now.
The ghost. The ghosts are finally getting some.
What was that?
Hey,
I can sort of see Maduro.
you know? She's having
She's a lump of clothing over there, right?
No.
Okay, not wrong. I apologize for too much movement.
Jeff, could I get a mic? Could I get a mic test from your end?
Yes.
All of us?
Let me just hear Jeff first. Okay, one more time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that the max volume you can go?
I think so.
Okay. All right. I'm just try to increase the volume just a little bit. So, one more time.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm gonna change my shirt.
Are you able to adjust the
Jeff,
mic
go to your-
to? Are you able to adjust the mic to your mouth a little bit? To put it a little bit closer to your mouth. Okay. Can you try that?
Yes, yes.
Wait, you can go to your user setting and go to your voice and video and adjust the output volume and see where that goes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
There you go.
user settings, voice video,
Yes,
and you
yes.
can like fix it. Max your output.
Max output. Okay.
Yeah.
How about now?
Ooh.
Perfect.
Yeah, much better. One more time.
How about now?
Okay,
Perfect.
one more time.
Hello.
Okay. A little bit louder.
I'm the greatest Yasuo player in the world.
Okay, perfect. uh,
Ew, we gotta try hard. Ew.
we have a resident Yasuo jungler.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. That's crazy.
That can work.
Yeah,
That can work. That can work.
Yeah.
Technically, it can.
It
Where's
can.
I've seen it happen.
No sustain. Never mind sustain voice.
Hey, Braum jungle works too. Believe it or not.
No, but like Yasuo. My goodness, where's the fucking sustain, man?
Pretty squishy.
Like I'm just, if Yasuo was ever gonna be in jungle, I hope to God like his mid and top lane are very nice people. Or like they get the message that they're doing a troll comp and all that.
Oh man.
Like the only, like one of the dumbass games I got away with was top Leona, and it was the most busted ass shit ever. Bully for top laner and then let the jungler leech off them.
Okay. So we're doing turn-based discussions. Just to get a general direction. Kelv is to my right. To the right of Kelv is Arnell. Bottom of me is Jeff, and to the right of Jeff is Earl. Is that?
What we see? Yes.
Is that what you see? All right. We're gonna keep our discussions open. We're gonna keep it civil, and we should be fine. So we're also starting
Let's go to war. Let's go.
Oh boy.
Oh shit, why are we in Ukraine? We're in Ukraine, let's go. Easy.
Oh boy.
You guys question my lagging or anything, or
You're purple now.
Yeah, you're purple.
am I lagging or?
You are latency wise. Yes.
Alright.
Alright, I'm gonna just take out the background thing. I cannot stick up too much in.
Oh yeah.
Very
best dinner,
unknown.
Yeah.
Very
Best
unknown.
dinner.
Mother!
Hey, bro, it's okay, bro. My Ulin fat ass bro ate like barbecued chicken earlier. Don't worry, I'm as
Tried
Ulin
whatever
guilty as-
leftovers I got from
I did
the
that
park
for
party.
case.
I even made fried rice. That's all I made for tonight.
We're all Ulin material. We're making Ulin proud, boys.
Man, have you guys tried this G Fuel?
G Fuel.
That's not me.
Wait, did you just say G Fuel? Oh boy.
She took somebody's Pocari sweat here. I thought it was water for a second.
Oh, that is sweat.
Pocari,
Oh, that was mine.
I like Pocari sweat though.
Oh,
Pocari.
yours? Okay. I just hang on to it with the alcohol.
All right.
Yeah, my dad was saying he might actually drink one of them. So then you can get the soju if you want.
I was so happy how like the frames turned out. Like I was like putting them on earlier in my place. They really look awesome.
You know, now that I think about it, last night I only had
I think
2
I'm gonna
drinks.
do
Man.
the same for mine.
I was like, man,
Dude, Simon, you were at peace, bro, last night. You found peace, my guy. You were snoring so heavenly. And again, for me, it was the snoring was no problem because my dad's like the son of a bitch who snores in the house too. So it's
Wait a
fine. I'm already
And
used
for
to
me,
it.
growing up, I
Wait
got
a
used to
minute.
snoring.
He's skinny. How is he snoring? And here my mom always gets mad at me, like, you know, you're so very fat. That's the reason why you snore like bungalow.
no, but I
I'm
mean,
still wondering who did Earl really see when he came in. Like, you sure it wasn't Simon? Are you sure it wasn't me that was snoring?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Simon,
Yeah.
I stayed on the
Earl's
couch. I
freaked
never
out.
moved.
Earl is freaked out right now. Because the switch between
I
you and
never
Calvin
moved
was so
from the
legit.
not like we look alike.
I
do
don't
we?
know how you guys did it.
Because okay, in my
Was
perspective,
after you
I saw
left,
Simon
I said-
12 and 5 o'clock. That's but like in between that 12 and 5 o'clock hour, I have no clue what the fuck happened. I saw Simon lay down in peace in the bed,
Awake.
and then I woke up to Simon still snoring in peace as well. But whatever's in between that time, I have no clue what happened.
I was awake until roughly maybe 2:30, more or less. So I don't know what happened between 2:30 to whatever time that Earl came in.
I think we can go ahead and get started. Oh, sorry. Yes.
So for me though, 3. Oh, what? We're starting?
I was gonna say, if anything, we could probably we'll talk about this more when we talk about it. Because guess what, we're starting our live stream in 5, 4.
So weird. Like,
What's so weird?
I never left the couch. Like, after you left, Earl, I told Simon, go inside the room, sleep already.
Kelvin, the stream is starting, you fool.
Oh wait, it is.
About to.
You fool.
All right. Anyways, everybody ready? All right. Let's get this show
Ready.
started. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Updates Antiro, welcome again to another episode of the Breakpoint. This is your host Baka Dead, live from the Northern Mariana Islands. Hope you guys are having a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I hope you continue to stay amazing. It is Sunday night, the same night that we usually hold our streams, and this is the 7th episode that we've had so far of the Breakpoint. So we've definitely got a lot of definitely got a lot of stuff going on, and 7 weeks. Actually, no, this is technically 8 weeks into this. Uh, uh, 7 weeks into this. Into this stream, and honestly, I know it's not the 10th episode. I feel like we've definitely come a long way. So I want to say shout out to all you viewers who have been watching the streams live, and also for watching this. If you guys were able to see the replays of the podcast, it is also available on YouTube. So make sure to go ahead and check out the replays for the podcast. If you guys enjoyed watching the podcast through here, um, first and foremost, as we do for every podcast, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our panel for tonight's podcast. To my right, I have Kelvin, and to the right of Kelvin, I have Arnell. To the bottom of me is our resident Yoru main, Jeff. And last but not least, to the right of Jeff is Puff Puff Pass, Earl. All right, nice. So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on. I know it's the start for a lot of you guys out there. It's the start of summer. It's the start of summer. Everybody's out. Everybody's out of school. Everybody's just doing their own thing. So hope you guys have a good and long summer. Here's to you. You guys have definitely worked hard. You guys deserve it. Shouts out again to our class of 2022 as well for graduating as well. Well, yeah, yeah, for at least for the American system, we usually operate on a 10-month system, 9 to 10 month system. So we usually start school either on August or September, and we usually finish towards the end of either May or June. The only reason why we just finished school in May was partly because we have a major event that's happening in the month of June, and it's a big Olympic event. It's called the Pacific Mini Games. So we've got a lot of people from different parts of the Pacific coming over to participate in this event. And I just learned that this is also an event where people will try to earn points in order to get into the Olympics. So it's an Olympic qualifier as well, which is absolutely insane. Yeah. Tomorrow is also a holiday for some of you guys that are for some of the you guys that are working. This is also in observation of Veterans Day. So shouts out to our fellow military peeps who have been working hard to for their service. And I would like to take a moment to I would also like to take a moment to recognize the soldiers who have fallen, and to honor their death. So just a moment of brief silence for a bit. All right. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started into our. With that said, let's go ahead and get started into our into our sorry. With that said, let's get started with a quick story. So basically, the Wanna Know fam just recently did a graduation party yesterday, and so basically the whole crew rented out a room, and we did a lot of partying. Shouts out again to Arnell, Helen, and Medell for graduating. And it was an absolutely insane party. But I gotta say, our stories have are not without some weird stuff going on. So I'm gonna pass the mic over to Earl, who mentioned some weird stuff that happened during our time. So yeah, Earl, take it away.
All right. All right. Thank you, Simon. So around 12 midnight, I went off to see a friend and give my final goodbyes. Right around 3, I came back. I saw Simon on on the long couch in the unit we're in,
Okay.
and then I was bored and hungry, so I got whatever food we had available that night, and then I set my phone to record, and then I put it right next to his face. Too bad my my microphone is fucked, and now I have to buy a new phone.
Uh,
I don't know why the fuck.
Aw.
Matt,
Oh.
rip your
Those majestic snores. I could have content for the show.
Did you?
We
Okay,
could have
chat.
named it hard.
Right. So, okay, chat. So this is my point of view of the story. Although Earl's story happened during 3 o'clock, mine was at the beginning and at the end. So around 12 o'clock or 12:30 ish, I saw Simon. This is where the contradiction begins. This is where I saw Simon head into the bedroom I was in and just knock out right away, and he was snoring right there, cuddling the pillows and blankets. And then I woke up around 5 to see Simon still sleeping. So, in my point of view, whatever happened at 3 o'clock was a majestic time frame because Simon was perfectly in bed from in my perspective, at least from 12 to 5. It seems like it. Like he didn't budge an inch, and he was snoring perfectly fine. And then when I heard this story, I was like, wait a minute, this is weird. I want Kelvin's take on this. He's also a witness here.
Hello? Okay. From my perspective, I when they left, I stayed awake like until 2. I was just like kind of vibing on my phone and whatnot. I believe I knocked out like around 2:30. I did not leave that couch till I woke up at 5 because I think I heard Arnell moving around and cleaning up already. And then when I heard Earl's story, I was like, wait a minute. I was on the couch. I never left the couch. And I never heard any instance of noise. Because I usually wake up easily if I hear something moving. If it's if my mind thinks, okay, something important's happening. So it's like, are you sure that you didn't imagine Simon on the couch or anything? Like,
No.
Dang.
the only conclusion I can say that we've considered this is that he entered a paradox or something.
Most
And when he
likely.
slept, and when he went to sleep, he corrected the paradox.
So basically, the critical time frame was 3 to 5. That's where the magic happened. So yeah, and then from here on out, no one else was present aside from Earl. He was the only one awake around that time frame. Other than that, that was it. That's the available information we have on this paradox.
So
The available evidence is faulty.
so long story short, Earl came in 3 in the morning, uh put his phone next to me, uh while I was sleeping on the couch, but it turned out that the person that was actually sleeping on the couch was actually Kelvin.
Wrong direction, my friend.
I don't know. If there's like there's one thing if there's one thing about me that everybody knows, like in the friend circle, is that I am a notorious snore when I sleep. Like I make loud snores when I sleep, and I don't know why for the life of me I do, but it just happens to be it just happens to be, and it's crazy.
Honestly, it feels like ASMR, to be honest.
ASMR. There is no way I'm ever gonna be
No,
doing
it
it.
is.
What?
Yeah,
Snoring?
I don't know why. Like, just listening, like, I know it's kind of loud, yes, but then I guess for people
It's
who got used to
soothing.
listening to snores, it's like soothing, yeah. Like, it reminds you, okay, there's someone here, okay.
Sometimes.
Because your snoring is fine. I literally slept in the same room as you, and I was unhinged, and I was perfectly fine.
Yeah, back then I
Yeah,
slept
so yeah.
right next to you, and it felt fine to me. And you were facing me when you were doing it, so it felt fine.
I digress. I digress on on so many things. But yeah, that was definitely an interesting interesting night, to say at the very least, and one we'll definitely talk about over and over again for years to come.
Yeah.
All
Pretty
right.
much.
So let's get started. Let's get started with our first. Let's get started with our first topic of the night. And this is something I've been thinking about for the longest time. It's the term between weebs versus otakus, and I feel like this is one. This is one that that gets to me sometimes because back in the day, when we return when we talk about somebody who is an avid fan of anime, right? We usually refer to them as otakus. Very rarely do you ever refer to somebody as a weeb during that time, because weeb, which is also short for weeaboo, is considered as a derogatory term, something that you don't usually talk about in a social setting. However, the culture has changed where the term "weeb" becomes more acceptable, and we get people who are uh, avid fans of anime using the word as something that they identify as. I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are on this matter.
Having a big think
Um.
moment because sometimes, for me at least, when I hear those two words, weeb and otaku, it sometimes these words are interchangeable for many people. As for myself, yes, I am knowledgeable about anime, and at the same time, I'm pretty enthusiastic. And sometimes, what how I define it in pen and paper is an otaku somebody who has like really good general knowledge about anime. Like they'll give you like really well detailed reviews about a certain anime, movie, even a book too, or a
Mm.
novel or manga series. And then a weeaboo, someone who can like embody like the stereotypical like vibe about it, like Kokoro-chan is best girl. I'm gonna like what destroy a country for this girl, and they like and channel it, like they embrace their nerdiness or dorkiness in a way where they identify as that thing fully, you know? Well, that's how I see it.
Mm.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Arnel. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say there's a thin line, but then in a way, otakus are like, yeah, fans who can recommend you, that can give you good reviews, good and also just show you the rope of what you could look at. Weebs, on the other hand, I kind of view them as people who they enjoy it, yes, but then they don't like. What can I say? Like, they won't give you an exact opinion. Like, they'll say, "Oh, it's really good, it's really good, it's really good," but I want to know more details, basically. Like, it's something like that, at least for me, as far as I can tell. And yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I feel like weebs are like they will use terms like that a lot.
And it
Oh,
really go
it feels weird.
it really goes to show the concept of how times have changed. And so Yeah, now it just seems that the word weeb just becomes a lot more acceptable now in this society. So um, it's automatically associated with somebody who initially likes anime and anything that has to do with anime. What are your thoughts on this, Jeff?
Say for the two words, um, they're more of ranking systems for what I see. Like in
Ranking
my personal point of view,
ranking
it's like on
systems.
Otaku is way up there, and if you're just new to anime, new to anything, you're considered a weeb. So you're at the lowest of the rank. so, so yeah, whoever's at the bottom of everything and is just only brushing up on the on like season one of anything they've ever watched, just season one, or not even episode one, just like Carlo with his third, not even third episode. There, he's a
Oh
weeb.
my.
He's a weeb. I'm
Oh my,
sorry,
oh
hands
my
down, you're
goodness.
not official on Otaku yet. Us who are above there and who know everything at past season one, those are Otaku level people. That's the ranking system, I believe. Hmm.
To answer Captain D, you would have to ask Baka if he is considered a weeb.
Let's not go there. Um, what about you, Earl? What are your thoughts on this?
Mm, honestly, I just feel like they're sort of the same thing. I'd say maybe an otaku. I'd say a difference is that maybe an otaku is just has like an interest. Maybe like a weeb would be like somewhat obsessed. I don't know. That's just me.
Or no.
Yeah,
Well,
as you can see, lads, I'm a weeb.
Pretty Teddy, yeah, I think that's actually kind of that is how people use the term weeb kind of became a thing. Actually, it
No.
really just became the defining point that you have crossed the line and you are now part of this anime world,
Well, to put into
basically.
better than being a psychopath.
mm, actually, to echo
It's not wrong.
to echo what Teddy mentioned though, like it is true the term weeb, which again stems from the word weeaboo, is considered as a derogatory term, and the fact is the term weeaboo actually extends to culture, and so um it actually goes to the extent where a person who is not Japanese in this case is willing to deny now there's many definitions to the term weeaboo, and then the first one is to and this is for somebody who is not of Japanese origin. uh, Somebody who is not Japanese adopts the customs, the culture, and any media that they get, but also not recognizing their own culture and uh, their own media or their own way of life, and that is where the term that is where a lot of the term is lost, and I feel like that's an important thing to consider, which is why I don't use, for me at the very least, I don't use weeb as much because of the origins of the word, and I feel like this is an important thing to consider because um a lot of words that we adopt nowadays actually have a lot of dark undertones behind them, and it's important to take that into. I feel like that's important to take into consideration.
Yeah, that sounds about it.
Yep.
Honestly.
Hmm. Of course, correct me if I'm wrong, also, because this is also another thing. Uh, like I said, there's multiple definitions to the word. There's multiple definitions to the word weeaboo, and it's important. And I feel like it's important to understand uh, the reason why the it's important to take into consideration the origins of the word before using it.
Mhm. I think
Right,
the
right.
reason why now it's a bit hard to differentiate both words. Back then, like there was a, the line was very noticeable. You can tell um, who's an avid fan and who's more of a fan of just the culture, not the actual
Hmm.
content. But I guess when anime became more mainstream, it kind of the line just became much more thinner as years went by. That's why people now like can't tell much of the difference of the terms.
For me, like if you struggle to know which who you are for any reason, just call yourself an enjoyer. Like it's the meme, the enjoyer meme, the average anime enjoyer meme, and then there's like the Giga Chat picture just sliding in with the fucking epic music and all that. It's all right. So you don't know if you're a weeb or not talking. Just be an enjoyer, my guys.
There's
Keep
a
it easy.
I know there's a term. I know there's a term there that they use. Uh, I was gonna say appreciator, but that's not the word I'm looking for. It's on the tip of it's on the tip of my it's on the tip of my tongue, and I remember saying it before. Um,
Three
I'm a
syllables.
connoisseur.
it's kind of like music, right?
Are you sure it's not connoisseur?
I feel
No, I thought
Anime
connoisseur is a
connoisseur.
vendor or is a vendor. Sorry, I meant to say a seller of goods. Or am I getting that wrong? Wait, is that what connoisseur is?
okay. Well, a connoisseur is usually somebody a connoisseur is somebody who is somebody is a person who has a knowledge of certain things. So, like for example, wine connoisseurs, um, will tell you what the brand of the wine is, the history behind the wine, um, what kind of foods usually are paired with the wine. Um, if you are a connoisseur of books, then you would know the origin of the author, some of their most notable works. I feel like uh, I feel like these are some examples of what a connoisseur is identified as. It's not necessarily a specialty, but more of an understanding of or more yeah, it's more of an understanding of the a list or how you say. Again, a lot of these words are coming are on the tip of my tongue, but I can't put it
You
together.
mean enthusiast, Simon? Maybe that's what you're looking for.
Okay, there. Taste. Thank you.
Speaking of wine, actually, like I know there's like a job where like you're specialized with wine, like you know the history and stuff, and you have to go to like a school specialized for this. I
Yeah,
know it's like yeah, and they usually make like 90K annually.
that's
Yeah,
pretty dope.
yeah,
Mm,
just to be knowledgeable about wine.
yeah.
Dang.
Uh,
Reminds me
That
of an
lets
old
you
show I
be
used to
drunk.
watch where they actually brought a
Amazing.
character like
a,
that in.
a concierge. Yeah, that's what they are.
Oh, there,
A
yeah.
concierge.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like when I think of concierge, I think of hotels. But I guess uh, what's it called? Sommeliers? Sommeliers?
sommelier. Maybe, hmm, maybe I got it wrong.
Oh, proselytes.
Sommelier.
Proselytes. Okay, that's a bit. Oh my god. To be a
Like,
purveyor to be a purveyor of something is also is also another interesting one. Okay. They're called sommeliers. Yeah, because when I think of concierge, I think of front desk. I think of the ones who handle a lot of the information about not just hotel itself, but also places to go uh, if you're around the area. Actually, let me just do a quick sommeliers. How do you pronunciation? Oh, sommeliers.
Sommeliers.
Yeah.
Sommel
Sommeliers.
sommeliers. Okay.
Smelly.
It is
Sounds like
French
smelly.
though.
Sounds like smelly.
Some, I was like,
Smelly.
if you're lost and you're trying to remember, just remember smelly A's. Smelly A's.
Smelly air. Hmm.
Smellier.
All right. I think it's an interesting concept though to think about sommeliers and making a career out of reviewing wine.
It is pretty cool.
Okay. Moving on to our next topic. I feel like this is another interesting concept to wrap around, and it's on the topic of touch. Now, touch has a lot of different uh, we have a lot of different interpretations of touch in various of the cultures, right? And so the two types of touch I want to focus on are platonic touches versus romantic touches. Now I know post like pre-COVID, we touch was okay, and then going into COVID, like everybody's like kind of trying to incorporate the 6 feet rule. So socially distance and stuff. And now we're here in this era. We're post COVID, where a lot of the things that we go through now, we don't have to worry too much about COVID at this point. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the difference between what are your thoughts on the difference between platonic touches versus romantic touches?
Hmm. Honestly, I like to think there's not really much of a difference between the two, in a way, at least. Because either way, when when you touch a person, whether it be hugging or pat in the back or holding hands or whatnot, there's always a slight meaning to it in any way. Because plathonically, their friend, you just as a friend, you just wanna hang on to them and whatnot. And romantically, yes, it's just because you love the person or you like the person, you want to be in contact with them. But honestly, there's not really much of a difference
So if I
because it just means
so if it's interesting because you brought up holding hands, right? If a person holds hands, right, would that necessarily mean that it could either be romantic or platonic?
So first of all, I would like to jump in. The key thing is intention. Like when you're about to like touch someone, you want to
yeah.
shake someone's hands. There's always an intention. For example, if you're in a meeting, you want to shake hands with people you want to know, or like you recently met them, or you just want to like just encourage a bond that you guys had prior to that. And if it's romantic, your partner or anyone that you're interested in will know eventually. But the key thing is intention because like especially in a lot of Western countries too. Like whenever like ladies, for a great example, is like when ladies see each other, they'll kiss each other in the cheek too. It seems romantic on paper, but it's just a normal, casual way of greeting. So intention is like the number one thing when it comes to like touching and all that. Because platonic's usually like friendly, familial, and all that, and romantics like couples and all that, something like that.
Right. So we think of things like a high five as being just being a platonic touch, right?
Yeah.
And then shaking hands. Of course, shaking hands is is usually customary thing if you depending on the situation really. If you're meeting somebody
Yeah.
for the first time or
Hmm.
I also since we're on the topic of shaking hands, like it's interesting because there's multiple interpretations behind a handshake when you meet somebody. Um, like for example, if you were to do a handshake with the standard one would be like, I'm trying to I'm trying to
It's
uh
something like, yeah, it's the doggos. I call it the doggos meeting. The doggos meeting each
yeah,
other.
there's
Doggos.
just I just want to say just assume that that my left hand that you see here is over here. So like yeah. So this kind of handshake is the standard handshake. But if you were to do something like this, right? This is what I've learned what I've learned in a book on touch is that this is a power move. Like so you hold the other person's wrist when you shake their hand, indicating that it's basically to assert dominance, if you will. Like who's the boss here.
Damn.
I think also in a way, some people whenever they handshake another person, some people say, at least I'm not sure if it's true, that those depending on the grip of the person you're handshaking with, you can actually tell if they are a person of like they're maybe like a confident person, or they're a strong-willed person, or if they're more of a lax or more tame, like more calm person based on their handshake. I've never actually confirmed if it's true, but I hear a lot of people kind of or I see it in media, like a lot of people kind of mention it a lot in media, so I'm curious about it, of course, but feels kind of true, I guess, if a lot of people are saying it.
No, I do agree with you on that because the strength of the grip of the handshake really does play a key factor there also. And I'm pretty sure you've had those moments where people when you shake somebody's hand, you have that one person who will like grip the both they have that grip. They have that gorilla grip handshake, and like they just basically I don't know how to explain it. It's like I have to show how it looks like in order to describe the feeling, but it's almost as if like your hand's caught in a vice grip and you cannot get out of it, right? It's that weird power handshake.
Imagine the time I met this dude. First of all, guys, I'm 6'2". I'm pretty tall, but this guy was 6'10", and his weight is like 250 plus, man. And when I shook his hand, I was like, "Oh God, my fingers is gonna turn into like twigs, man." So I had to like add in a little pressure to balance the force that he was like handshaking me with, because like shit, this guy is strong. Yeah, it really depends on the intention. I'm pretty sure he was a really chill guy, but my God, like that guy had the hands of Thor or something, man.
It's those really strong grips that really do get to you. Like at the end of the day, by the time you finish your handshake, you're like trying to see if you could still feel the sensation in your hands. Oh, I swear, if I had $1 for every one of those grip handshakes that I get, I don't know if I'd still be able to have
Hey,
a hand. Because
if I,
sometimes it feels like that.
especially if yeah, especially if it's like how you say it, some handshakes too feel like they're kind of like last minute handshakes, or like the ones that catch you off guard. Like there's some random dude just pops over, "Hey, well, hello, my name's Mr. Roman," and then they'll just shake your hand right away, and you don't have like time to respond properly. They'll just shake your hand, wiggle it, and then leave.
Yeah, I had something similar like that back then in a wedding. It was so weird.
One of my
Shake
there's
your hand,
Actually,
wiggle it around, ditch.
what's another different type of wait. there's also that other type of handshake where when a person comes in, they use two hands to shake your hand.
Oh, I
Yeah.
never had that.
So
I think those are the enthusiasts. Like, or enthusiasts. I meant to say, like, those people who are very enthusiastic whenever they meet a new person. Like, hey,
Or
how are you? Nice to meet
or
you.
or they're just really blessed to see their biggest fan, Simon.
Hey!
I you know
Hey.
I don't I
I'm not kissing ass or anything. I mean, that's legit.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I don't know if I could say that, but I mean, I don't know. Handshakes are one thing, but hugs are another interesting aspect to look at. Like, and there's many different types of there's various what am I saying? There's multiple variations of hugs that are out there. Um,
Hugs are
In
wholesome, for sure.
Yeah, hugs are wholesome, of course, and I feel like most people who hug are either they're very confident in whoever they're gonna give a hug to, and they just really like the person, or they just simply just like physical contact.
Because like the thing about hugs is that those are pretty harder to come by depending on who you're talking to and all that. Because when you're
Yeah.
hugging someone, you're touching someone else's private space and body. So it's kind of like a trust thing too. Especially for those who are more, introverted to an extent. Of course, they're going to be a lot more defensive on how they hug. And then sometimes there will be situations too where like people that are, they're more casual with hugging and all. They'll just hug they'll hug that poor dude that just wants his own space and it's going to feel awkward. So it's kind of like it's more of a acquired kind of thing because some people like hugs, some don't. And, as long as the intention's good, it's fine, but I think a lot of people need to keep in mind when you're going to give a hug, you have to consider maybe this person's not the touchy feely type. Maybe some are,
Mm.
but it really depends on the situation because like throughout my experience, like interacting with a lot of people, some people are very open minded. Like when they say, "Hey, Arnell, it's been a while," usually a cue to know when it's safe to hug is when they start doing this. It's like, "Hey, what's up?" Then they'll do a quick hug and all that. But when their hands are like lower, that means no touchy feely moment time. Just a normal conversation works.
hmm.
Mm.
Yes. So if I see somebody, yeah, usually, if they're open, like I will leave my arms wide open. If I am to do a hug. Um, but it also I also feel like hugs between genders also do affect the scenario the scenario of the situation, or sorry, the also affects the situation because um like what you mentioned, Arnold. Like, not a lot of people are comfortable with hugs. It's now for some places it's customary, but in other situations it really depends on it's dependent on whether the person on the receiving end is open to receiving or giving a hug.
It's almost like what Arno said earlier with with holding hands and whatnot. Intention I also like to say that maybe interpretation is also another thing.
Hmm.
Is the main factors because interpretation is you can never really know what a person means whenever they do those kind of things. That's why I say that the lines between platonic and romantic can be kind of slim depending on the situation because you really can't tell if it is or not. And intention, basically, just whatever drives it. I guess it's what's the deciding factor.
Hmm. Uh, Sorry, I'm just fixing my mic here.
Yeah.
Right.
Once in a while.
No problem.
Anyways, so testing. I don't know what. Like, do I need to use it? I feel like I might need to testing, mic test.
Sounds good here.
Chat, are you guys able to hear me on your end? Just wanted to get a quick test on you guys. Testing, mic test.
Sounds good on my end, Chief.
All good.
Same for
Yeah.
me.
Okay, all right. I've been having a lot of bad luck with the Discord sessions, and it's a lot harder to get this mic working, and it bothers me a lot. Like I don't know if you saw I don't know if you saw my last in the last podcast. I was really frustrated with the what was I was really frustrated with what was happening, and it I don't know. Anyways, looks like we're back. Should be good. Should be good. Also, so going back to hugs, I actually want to talk about the different variations of hugs that are out there. Like, aside from the frontal embrace, right? We have you also have things like the side hug. The side hug is also known as the Christian side hug. Is a type of hug that's supposed to be uh it's supposed to give the impression that you are being friendly with them, right? That's like kind of yeah, and then back out.
My favorite hugs are the camaraderie hugs. Like when you hug someone and then you pat them in the back, especially if they're dudes and you pat them harder. That's my
Yeah.
favorite ones. Like when I was saying goodbye to my coworkers from Project Pro at NMC, and then I gave them like those manly hugs. I'm like, later, Jason. I pat his back so hard, and he pat mine hard too.
Oh,
It's a bunch of meatheads just saying goodbye to each other. Those are my favorite ones for sure.
like you get those hugs where like you pat them so hard they end up burping.
It gets funny when they end up burping by accident.
Hey, as long as it
Good
doesn't
boy.
go as long as it doesn't go the other end, you're fine.
I would say if you're saying your favorite hug, I would say my least favorite actually, or actually I wouldn't say least because it only happened to me once, but it was still a funny thing that happened. When you get a hug and then the next thing you know you feel a hand on your butt. Yes,
Oh.
Mr. Jeff right there is a very interesting person.
Um.
Hi Jeff, what is
He's like
your
that.
favorite hug, my guy?
What happened to him? I was joking. No, no. Oh, I guess for my favorite hug, well, no, actually, I'll show least favorite hug instead. I don't have any main favorite hugs. Or actually, I do. It's just when you're with your intimate someone and you feel like you've already did so much hard work today, and she rewards you with like, "Oh, you're home," kind of thing. Yes, that's my favorite hug.
That's
I'm like,
Oh.
yes,
awesome.
I know. I actually went through the sewer line and I found your necklace. It was it fell. I'm sorry. Oh hi. I should probably tell you about that. Tell you. It's like that feeling where a wedding ring dropped and you know her anniversary is coming.
Oh no!
And you literally told CUC, I'm gonna go down there, cut the water line for a bit.
Oh my
You
god.
come back out, you're smelling like shit. And then you reward your lover with that ring. She hugs you and she says, "Why do you smell? Don't worry about it."
I could have sworn I heard a little bit of a drop of the mic, and I thought I heard Anna Divorcery, and I was like, what?
Your mic, Simon?
Oh no,
Acting weird.
is it my mic again? Okay.
Yeah, for like what every
Yeah.
there's like some instances where you talk and then it just like shuts off out of nowhere until you reset
Yeah.
it's either your mic resets its position or you reset your position. it goes back to normal.
All right,
Yeah, like when you move, it fixes itself.
really
Kind of, yeah.
just by moving. Okay, you know what? We're switching to Zoom.
Oh God.
We are switching to
Again.
Actually,
we are
to
switching
continue
to
on
Zoom
with the
next
hugs,
time.
actually, uh,
Switching the
my
Zoom.
my favorite hug, I would say, would be the reassurance hug. You know, the one where you just wrap your arm around a person and just like pat their shoulder or just like lean onto them a little bit. I always like those. I like receiving them. I like giving them because I just like to. I don't know. I don't know why I do it often. For people who talk to me about their whatever they want to listen to.
Hmm.
It's like my main go-to. Like just let them know, oh, I'm here. Don't worry.
So kind of like the
Get out.
have a shoulder to lean on kind of thing.
Yeah, like that. Like that one.
For me, my least favorite hugs is nothing wrong with short people, but like whenever a short person hugs me, I'm like, crap, I can't hug back because I'll accidentally do like a chokehold on them when I do. Like, think about it, guys. I'm 6'2", and on average, like a lot of my friends are like roughly, 5'7" and shorter, or 5'8", whatever. But I have short friends and all that. And when I hug them, I was like, Christ, I want to hug back, but I might accidentally like suffocate you if I do a rear naked choke or something.
This is why I just pat you in the shoulder. Like, hey.
Side hugs are better, or either that, bend your knees. But yeah, you get the point. Bend your knees.
Me.
It reminds me of that one
Yeah,
comic
babe.
where like
It's like hugging a child. Like, hey. Like, you have to bend down to hug them.
I find that happening a lot. Like whenever the neighbors' kids come, like, uh, or like if I'm performing,
Like that.
I'm a.
Through the
Okay,
mic.
I am not. I am.
Wait, so if he throws the mic, will it get repaired when he puts it back
I'm gonna
together?
choke this mic to the ends of hell for this.
Like that.
Okay. Anyways. Before I murder this mic or switch over to a Zoom meeting.
Sure.
No, no, I'm broke to do Zoom meetings, man. If you
Probably in the next one, because I have to, because like my Zoom meetings, like with my student email and all that, I gotta make another Zoom account with a personal email just so I can like sort it all out.
No, but like here's the thing. Here's the thing about Zoom. Zoom is actually uh if you're not in an organization, you do have to pay. You do have to pay for Zoom, and Zoom, as a free the free version of Zoom, you only have up to 30 minutes, and I think you can only have up to 10 people in one group chat.
Yeah,
So
and not only that, it kind of sucks too because I believe I'm not sure about how recording works on the free version, but it's still pretty limited as well. Because what a lot of instructors like to do, especially in a Zoom meeting, just in case students are absent, they'll just record the whole session and then they'll just post it on the web, on like the student web page or YouTube and all that.
I don't know. Discord's Discord's great and all, but still it's the disconnection issues that really do get to you sometimes, or it gets to me a good portion of the time because I really do feel that a lot of the volumes kind of cutting off, or at least, and then I have to check. Is it really cutting off though? Is it?
Like every now and then, for some odd reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it always seems to hit whenever you're like very enthusiastic of what you're saying.
Oh, it's just decibels. Okay, you're breaking the boundary. You gotta set that up higher.
Set it up higher.
Yeah, there's a setting for that.
It kind of reminds me of
Like the
my old
threshold.
Oh, it's
video
because I have
chatting
it's because I have noise
apps that I used
suppression.
before.
There we go. Okay. How's it now?
Oh yes, ear rape.
Very
Let's go.
Yeah, that's actually what I feared. That's actually what I feared the most was having it to this extent. I guess that's why noise suppression. I guess that's why noise suppression is a thing.
Well, when Simon was in ear rape mode, I can imagine all the memes were gonna be like spilling out after this.
I think I'm not using a headset to listen to this right now.
Well, here we go. I think it's a lot better now. I think it.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's good.
yeah.
It's no.
It's crisp.
I forgot about. God damn it, crisp. Anyways,
Simon, you're a crispy boy.
I don't even know what to make of this. What?
Don't worry about
I was
it.
like, how do you? Okay. Okay, bad.
All right, ear rape mode.
Bad.
This is from my laptop speaker and it hurts.
All right, I probably.
Spaced out for a split second. And
Yeah,
and then
like
Simon
it's
just partially like the Kool-Aid man.
I probably shouldn't throw my.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't throw my aggressions too hard then. How about now? Does it sound a lot better?
Yeah, when
Yeah,
you're
Okay, yeah,
calm.
that's
A
perfect.
lot
That's
better.
perfect.
Okay.
from this from that point, yeah.
When he's
Yeah.
calm.
Okay. Cool.
Don't worry, folks. This is all going according to whatever the fuck.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It's fine, we're professionals. Maybe, kind of, maybe.
Anyways,
The ragtag got about one and out party.
I think we should be. I think we should be fine here. I think we should be fine here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So going back into touches also, like I want to touch up a little bit on romantic touches too, because I feel like there's a there is a little bit of a double standard here when it comes to touches, right? If you're touched by somebody that you don't like, right? If they for some reason like do things that aren't that you don't allow, right? Then if you don't like that person, then that would come off as really creepy, right? Or really weird for the other party. But if it turns out to be the person that you like, you're more likely to accept the person's you're more likely to accept the person's advances. What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, yeah, it does kind of feel like that when you don't really like when you don't really know the person, or like you say, you don't like or something like that. You want little intention to actually be physical with them in any form, like handshake, hug, or whatnot. But yeah, I have to agree that if when you actually like a person, that's when you kind of want to be more physical with them. Because I think because people always consider physical contact as the closest form you can ever get with another person. Besides, yeah. But anyway,
So for me, when it comes to like romantic touches and all that, so considering that we have to work with somebody else's own interpersonal space and all that, I'll go as far as functional touches. Like if you want to say hi to this person, you can just like kindly tap their shoulder, like hey, or something that's nothing. It's not intrusive, but it feels all around in its purpose. Like like a good old handshake, tap in the shoulder, or like you're pointing at them, it's like hey, blah blah blah, and all that. Because like again, some people are not the touchy feely types too, especially when you're trying to like date them and all that. And you also have to like consider that maybe this person had like a pride, like maybe this person just didn't have a proper experience with like touches and all that, so they'll get a little defensive too, and that's where like the standards start getting all hectic. So for me, I'll stay on the defensive on this one, like when it comes to like touching your potential romantic partner and all that, especially in the first few dates and all that. go. I won't go bonkers and all that. So yeah.
Gentlemen at the bottom, what are your thoughts?
Touchy.
I got nothing.
Jeff's brain was like he sees like his laptop touch.
I got everything I need. Slowly says shh to the laptop.
Oh my god.
Look at Madelle in the back. I'm pretty sure she just feels this as normal at this point. Huh? I'm second to the laptop, don't I?
Well, okay. See? I got everything I
You're on the couch
need.
tonight.
I got everything I need.
Well,
Okay.
alright. I think
Voice, I need to touch grass.
I think okay, another thing actually when it comes to touch, actually I think it's I know some people kind of think towards that it could be romantic because it lingers. I would say like you have those people who kind of like hold on to you much more longer than like another person would normally do, like hold your hand longer, hug you longer,
mhm.
or basically just be in close contact with you longer than necessary. Um, I think that's like the main reason why people either get the wrong idea or get the idea that it's romantic when it could be platonic, or you really just can't tell. That's why I say the line is very thin. You can't really. It's hard to differentiate unless they actually say like outright say what they feel.
But that's the thing. Like a lot of the cases that we experience, like it's it's kind of like the unspoken rule, if you will. Like you can't,
Yeah.
because people don't necessarily just tell you directly, like, hey, I like you. We have different as humans, right? We have different ways of expressing our intentions or how we feel about another person, and sometimes uh just saying it, like we don't want to go too direct in a lot of our approaches, because we do not want to detract the person from getting away from us, or like to break off any of the what was it break off any of the rapport you've built with them, right? Essentially.
Yeah, and I get that because especially since relationships is something you take a step at a time too. You gotta like pace yourself. So I definitely agree with that.
Hmm. All right. So I think this is a good time to go. I think this would be a good time to go ahead and take a quick break, and then when we get back, we'll be talking about some other topics here on the live here on the podcast. So don't touch that dial. We'll be back soon, and as always, stay groovy, guys. Wait, where's my button? Oh, here we go. Okay. Oof. All right, break time.
Are you gonna throw your mic across the room and reattach it again?
I don't know. I feel like throwing it for sure. I don't know if I wanted to throw it across the room.
Stay quiet since
Sometimes.
the last subject. Share info.
So I had to cut off for a second and my mom went to talk. Hello?
Huh?
Good.
I was just laying down.
I'm gonna eat a little bit actually. I'm getting slightly hungry.
Reject hunger. Return to starter peace.
Right back as well.
One says, I feel the next topic is something that will be haunting me at night. Maybe. It's something that will be haunting me at night.
Maybe.
I think that was pepper.
Video call la.
Actually, I'll be back in a bit.
Ay,
hovering over Saipan right now, would you have the urge to shoot it down or eat it?
Which?
If there was a giant pizza hovering over Saipan right now, it's like a flying saucer type, would you have the urge to shoot it down or eat it?
Well, first off, if it's hovering, how the hell do we eat it?
Not wrong.
Yeah.
Strange trivia.
Yes, there's no one.
Release the Ulan!
We've been watching.
Get to Max Ulen.
No, see,
Honestly, I actually love that movie.
I would like to think of it like this. If I could find somehow like hop on a helicopter and just like if I hop on a helicopter and just like jump on top of the on the pizza, I probably would. But the question is the pizza still hot though?
Where we dropping, boys? Pepperoni.
Question actually, what if the pizza had like the worst toppings you can imagine on it?
Imagine if pepperoni was a map and the cheese was an ocean.
Oh Jesus Christ! Big ass pizza. We're dropping, boys.
Like I said, if the cheese is still hot, I do not want to go through. I do not want. I like hot cheese, all right, but I don't want to go through like 3rd-degree burns and.
Okay, so maybe the pizza has been set out for 30 minutes in real life, like that. That's how cool it is. Okay, you gotta imagine it.
So basically, like the pizza that we left, the leftover pizza from today.
Yes. Now that, and imagine it's like a giant saucer and it's flying over Saipan. Yeah.
No, I realize it's gonna be disgusting when it rains.
Oh
no.
Oh.
Man, that would
So
kill
easy.
that pepperoni would fill me up for like a month.
All right, Jeff, you're
Oh,
right.
I have
We
a
need to
giant
Gigantamax Ulan, bro.
Okay.
Need to Gigantamax him.
And then we hop on Uden's shoulders and we tell him to drop it down slowly.
Bro, in Pokemon, if you Gigantamax Snorlax, bro, there's a fucking tree on his belly, dude. That's how lit it is.
The fuck?
He's a walking. Yeah, he's a Pangea, dude. Fucking Gigantamax him, bro.
Boy.
Not Dynamax, Gigantamax.
Gigantic.
Now wait, if we Gigantamax him, whose backyard are we using?
Oh!
Harpy.
NMC's field!
Yeah, honestly, it would fit in MC's field.
No, NMC's ruined gym.
Oh no!
Saves time on demolition.
You still don't have a cafeteria.
It's all fun and games until we tell him to jump from Gigantamax.
Don't worry about it. We'll get our cafeteria next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Is there?
You're right, graduated though.
Is there a cafeteria? Is there still like a shop at NMC? I can't remember.
Yes, the bookstore's still there.
No, I meant like a food court. Like you know how like Herman's was
They were supposed to get one this year, but then they wanted to wait until the new facilities were built. The building's gonna start late this year or early next year.
Oh, that makes sense.
So,
I just realized where the hell's my bandana? Like it fell off my head and I'm like,
Another paradox?
oh, I am naked. Oh no.
Hey, AJ, any plans to renovate the NMC gym?
Whoops.
Like,
It'll be alongside it'll be alongside the main campus too. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a multiple phase construction project.
I remember
Yeah.
I remember when Cristiano used to be at NMC. Oh, that was great.
Yeah. So yeah, probably in the next couple years, NMC's gonna start, looking like a college again.
That would be nice. Next thing you know, they have a new breakpoint. Actually, is it still going? If they do go through with that, is it still going to be called the breakpoint?
Probably for branding purposes.
Because like they redesign it, and it's either called the Breakpoint 2.0 or Breakpoint Ex Machina.
Ex
You go
Machina.
point break at that point.
Oh, I think they're gonna call it "Please Don't Break."
Kevin's reaction.
Oh boy. Yep, these are
Still got my food.
these are the moments we live for, boys.
Yeah, man. Please don't break cafe.
Alright. So
Don't break at this point. Okay. I'll stop.
There you go.
Alright, gentlemen, you guys ready?
You're wonder now.
Alright.
Say typhoon insurance.
Alright, so ladies and gents, peeps of the stream, where are we coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright. Thank you guys again for tuning into the Breakpoint. My name is Baka. I am your host for today's podcast, and alongside me we have our current panel. So just to reintroduce the crew again, to my right is Kelvin. To the right of Kelvin is Arnell. To the bottom of me is Jeff, who's gazing intently at the screen right now.
Go focus. What a majestic creature.
And
You
to
can see
the
the Jeffy
to the right of Jeff is Earl.
In Area 51.
So
It is a nice looking setup though. Are you
Yeah,
eating,
man.
Are you eating onion rings?
yeah.
Don't worry, this is Area 51. It has onion rings in Half-Life 3.
Do you have some to share with the
You're
rest
out
of
of
the
this
class?
world.
I took a bag and I cloned it.
Oh, genius.
Oh,
Infinite food.
why didn't we think of that?
Dang it. Who knew?
He cloned the wrong bag. He cloned the wrong.
Oh boy, a whole new can of worms out there.
What are you doing? They're chamber, but then the thing is,
Where's that sound coming from?
Where else?
Anyways, so I think this is a good time to this is our transition into our next topic. Now this topic is going to be a little bit sensitive, so we're going to we want as much as possible, we would just for the sake of the nature of this podcast, we try to be respectful as much as possible and keep an open mind to some of the thoughts and opinions that are presented. We also want to take the time to acknowledge this is also going to be referencing the shooting incident that happened at Robb Elementary School in Texas. And so I just want to take the time to recognize the people, the students who have lost their lives in the event, as well as some of the faculty and staff who have also lost their lives in trying to protect the students. And so it's honestly for me also, like I was like it's been lingering on my mind for the past few days, and this is something that was recent, and mass shootings have been happening a lot. Have been occurring a lot in the United States, and much more so. The last time that we ever had a shooting, the last time we ever had a shooting incident in an elementary school setting was the Sandy Hook incident back in 2015. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 2015, or it could have been 2012. But regardless, we're talking we're talking about an incident happening at an elementary school, right? And my heart goes out to the students who have lost their lives in this incident, because they're just starting out. They um they have hopes, goals, and dreams, right? And to know that they won't be able to experience things like graduation or going to college or finding something in the workforce is devastating, to say at the very least. And again, my heart goes out to them. And as an educator, it like I fear things happening like this, because it's very real. It can happen to anyone, anywhere. And this is not just in the United States. There are other instances of uh there are other instances where lives are at danger in a school setting, such as bomb threats, or uh even something as dangerous as knives coming in. And so the question here is, what can be done in order to prevent things from happening like this in the near future. Let's start off with gun safety.
Gun safety. Oh. Hey Earl, what's your input when it comes to gun safety?
Or like gun control in this case.
Gun control, honestly, it doesn't really do much. Guns don't kill people; they're just tools. People
Mm,
kill people. Honestly, I'd say the main cause of this bullshit is shit parenting, or like a garbage upbringing. Like you come from like a rough ass orphanage, or your family or legal guardians are dog shit. Honestly, I'd say those are like the main causes of school
I
violence.
kind of agree. I kind of agree with Earl here. You know, for thousands of years, humans have been fucking killing each other, whether it be rocks, swords, guns. The one thing we cannot change is like human nature, because unfortunately, we have people out there that just want to do like fucking messed up shit to others. And as Earl said, it could probably be the things that been happening prior to that. It's kind of like the nature versus nurture argument too. And honestly, you know, when people say guns are like the root of all evil, for me at least, you're literally telling me like a tool is a big scary thing, but it's the person behind the tool is what's actually causing all this heartbreak. I remember there was this really sad interview about the Reese shooting. I'll try and find the link. It was the most heartbreaking interview I watched and all that. It was a man with his daughter, and, and the interviewer asked, and to me, my opinion, it was like one of the like most dumbest questions you asked. He was like in tears too. That guy was breaking down, and the first thing the interviewer asked was, "What can you do? Like, what can we do to fix this?" And I was like, Christ, like out of all the questions you tell him, it's this. And his response was, nothing is gonna change. I don't care how long, because in the end of the day, he just wanted to see his girl. He lost his daughter, and the fact that and then what broke my heart was the fact that he admitted to the fact that nothing is gonna change in the next 10 to 20 fucking years, because that's the reality of it. Because there's always people out there, that they're fighting inner demons, and unfortunately, they take out their anger towards others with weapons and other stuff like that. It's unfortunate, really.
And it's um I don't even know where to I don't even know where to go about with it, but it really does boil down to like to it really does boil down to the intention of the person that is holding the gun. Unfortunately, we cannot control uh we cannot control their actions. And that's the thing about living in a free will society is that not everybody is not everybody has good intentions. It's just unfortunate that we have to come across uh, situations like this where people they're we're we're still trying we're still trying to figure out how all of this ties in with the elementary school shooting, because we don't know what the intentions are. But the fact of the matter is that there are people who didn't ask for this. They like and the- in situations like this, it's it's just heartbreaking because nobody was thinking nobody was trying to hide from gunfire. And if you look at the setting of the situation, um this was according to the incident. This was actually supposed to be this was supposed to be the last day of school for them. Like, if anything, like, this is where, you know, uh I look back at I look back at my last day of school with my students, and I think about how we were just throwing a party, we were saying our goodbyes, talking about plans for the summer, right? And it's it's difficult to think that, on that end of the spectrum, like, they're hiding, they're trying to prevent themselves from being caught in the line of fire. And I mean, we have active shooter drills for schools now, but it's a painful thing to bear, to know that we have to prepare for situations like this. And of all things, students don't deserve to have to live in constant fear of being shot. It's or being harmed, for that matter. Like, school essentially is supposed to be a safe schools are intended to be a safe haven, right? Never would we have never would we have gotten to the point where we think, like, you know we have you don't usually have security guards or metal detectors to go through. But in in talking about this, it really does pain me to think that we have to be thinking about uh uh ways to protect our students, right? um because we don't want them to live in fear. In fact, this fear in itself also uh affects their not just their education, but also their mental health, because now with all these incidences happening, there are um they're a lot more alert, and they start to worry because because they also wonder is like if I wake up the next would I be able to wake up the next day, uh and instead of thinking, oh, what am I gonna do for what's the homework for today, is like now the question goes like, am I actually going to live another day to be able to see the things that I do.
You know what terrifies me the most is that the United States is not the only one suffering from this horrendous problem. There are countries like Ecuador, Honduras. These are countries that also have high crime rate, especially with drug wars and all that. There are like people our age, kids too. These are like the demographic that's about to get their life started out. You know, they have a future to look up for, only to get, clipped down by selfish drug lords and all that, and their endless wars within the streets and even in their homes too. And what you just said, Simon, the fact that these students have to live with the fact that shit, I don't have to worry about my homework, but will I get my head blown off by rival gangs or drug cartels on, on this street and all that? And it scares me because it kind of resonates back to what the grieving father said, that nothing's going to change if we couldn't, like, if third world, no, if first world countries like the United States struggle to, like, find a solution to, gun violence and all that, what good will other smaller and maybe, developing countries will do, like, South, the Latin Americas and all that? It's tough. And it just makes me think, like, crap, if, it's not just the United States going through this, but also other countries as well that's going through this. And my heart goes out to them, trying to go day by day, knowing that they're going to be taking the risk to, cross some, crime ridden area and all that. It's crazy to think, really.
Actually, when I look back, because for the most part, we live in Saipan. We live in the Northern Mariana Islands. It's a very small island, but usually when we hear stuff like this happening in the States, we think to ourselves, it's a small island. There's no way that this thing could ever happen. But what terrifies me, and it's still an event that gets to me to this day, is we actually had a shooting incident that happened in 2010, and that felt real, as real as that incident felt as real as it could get. And the reason why I brought this was because this happened when I was a sophomore in high school, and I remember it very vividly. It was around, I'd say, 1 p.m. when we got the drill for an active shooter. And the thing was, like, this was miles, like, this was like a couple of miles or so away from the actual incident. So the fact that the shooter was nearby made the scenario all the more terrifying. And the fact was, I didn't expect. I don't think any of us expected at that time to prepare for shooter drill. A lot of us were staying under our desks. The doors were locked, and when I scanned around the area, I thought about, like, are there any, aside from our desks, are there any other areas that we can protect ourselves from? Because it just, I don't know, even when it feels like it should be safe. There's just nothing that feels safe about hiding under a desk. Because if the shooter comes in and breaks in through the door, you're still caught in you're still caught in the line of fire. And fortunately, the shooter didn't go through the school, but uh the shooter did have to the shooter did um uh take some take some tourists along with him when he went all the way down to Suicide Cliff and I sorry, Bonsai Cliff. And again, nobody asked for this, but still, it's a terrifying experience to think about because now when we after that incident, it made us realize that these things can happen even in uh these things can happen even in a small island like Saipan. And uh to further emphasize that there was actually so I remember I think it was around 3 to 4 years ago. Uh, there was a there was a there was a prank that was made, and um, well, we don't know if it was a prank, but there was a threat that was sent via email about the possibility of a shooting happening at a nearby high school. I'm not going to disclose the name of the high school for privacy purposes, but the fact that happened during that time period, like when you hear shoot, like just the word shooting in itself already instills fear. And again, a lot of it runs through our minds because we think to ourselves, this thing shouldn't even have to happen in a small island, but it's terrifying to think about. Even if it was intended to be a prank, that is one of the most fucked up pranks that you could think about. So the fact is, this also hits a lot closer to home, and all the more reason why we worry about things like this happening.
Always worrisome to imagine that someone could go so far into a breaking point if that's what went through their minds. If they went through such a huge breaking point that they felt the need to release the violence that they've been through, the anger and whatnot, onto others in that scale. I mean, we could do things to help prevent it. Yes, up security, um, you know, gun control, or more mental health awareness act. It's still, but I have to agree. Yes, with that father that Arnold mentioned who lost their child. It won't bring back those who lost, the survivors of the ones that were gone now. Can never rewind time. Can never get back who they've lost in these incidents. It's sad to think. And positive notes, yes, it is. It could be possible to prevent future acts, or at least minimize them to a more controllable situation. But it is a very horrendous thing, or a very sad thing to think about that. Like places like these should not be. Yes, there is bullying. There is things that happen behind the scenes for students that we don't normally see. An environment for learning to be a person that you want to be, and yet or places like these have now become centrals for other people to inflict these acts on.
You kind of
I,
touching up to what oh my bad. Go ahead, finish my
no,
friend.
no, go ahead. I'm losing words.
Okay, so coming back to what Calvin says about the person. Well, when it comes to mental health, I think that's a really strong thing we should also emphasize on. Maybe the person that that unfortunately had to take out their anger on the students. Maybe that person was just not in a good spot mentally, and maybe if he had like a stronger connection with a support group and all that, this could have been prevented. a lot of like murder incidents had to do something with circumstances that they were facing, but unfortunately that their emotions got the best of them, or unfortunately they were fighting something within their minds, or they had personal demons to deal with. But because of their struggle, they ended up doing things that would they end up regretting if they were not facing those demons. And I really suggest that for me, there are people that genuinely need help, and it's unfortunate that our mental health care system it's overworked. We need a lot more people in this field, and for sure, it'll go a long way if we can help out those people because there's still many others out there trying to find the help they need, but sometimes it's just not there, and they end up doing things their way. But unfortunately, maybe their idea of a solution is what's the opposite to us. It's the antithesis to that solution. It's the other way around. It's making the problem worse. So I really think we should like find a way to prevent it before it even happens. So I think mental health is like mental health not regulation per se, but like a form of support, like supporting more mental health institutions will go a long way for sure.
I've been thinking about this also because um I know gun control is has been a hot button topic for the longest time. But do you think what do you guys think? Do you think that there should be well, was it because I was reading an article on Japan about how when they do gun control, a person has to go through certification, or they have to go through a certification test in order to get a license to own a gun. Now, in this test, they also have a questionnaire that gauges a person's capacity to handle the gun, and also their mental health capacity. Like, are they in the right mind, if you will, to own a gun, and if they have what is it if their intentions are to use it for defense, or to use it in order to harm someone. What are you guys thoughts on that?
It's a good thing to have those kind of tests on hand because it does kind of mediate who can handle firearms. But
Hmm.
and there is some instances where sometimes people get their hands on firearms either by they know somebody who has them and they took them, or they just found one laying around, or you know behind the scene, like behind the in the dark areas of the world where people can just easily like go around and say, hey, can I get this, and they'll get it with a price. you know um but I would say, yeah, those kind of tests do help mediate it out. But the other thing is also that I think it's much more awareness of people, being more aware of the people around you. I would say would be a much more, will add on to that, because the more people that know that you have one, the more people will either view you differently or will look to you for that particular item and find ways to attain it from you in that sense.
And again, when we look at something like this, we also try to take in consideration that there are other things that there are drawbacks to any decision that's being made. And I know I remember one of the things that we discussed before was that even in situations like this, right? One of the drawbacks is that even if a person goes through all the certifications and we follow the rules and guidelines, there's al- uh there's always going to be a scenario where somebody will challenge the rule and find ways to break the rule essentially. Uh, and that in itself makes it harder as well to control if a person has other ways of accessing ways through illegal matters, right? If they somehow get their hands on firearms or weapons that are not approved by that are not approved by the or that are not mandated by the government. That's another thing to consider. Or maybe they get their hands on it through via the black market, if you will. But yeah, looking at it now, um, at the end of the day, we all come to agree. We all come to agreement that uh we want to maintain a safe space, not just in schools, but anywhere else. And you know, um, it's important to be cautious of your surroundings, but also note that uh also note that that uh also be watchful of where be watchful of your sorry, I know I'm repeating I feel like I'm repeating it, but it's important to be watchful of your surroundings, be careful in these situations, and to understand that if you uh if you if at any if you've been affected by this and you still want to talk about it, just know that I'm here for you. If you want to talk about if you want to talk about it after the stream or uh, anywhere else, you can also voice your thoughts and feelings. Just know that we're here for you, and that we also care about you guys, and that your opinion matters, and that we also we just like you also want to maintain a sense of stability in in these hard times. So just know that we're there for you. But yeah, that was a very that was definitely a very heavy topic. But I feel like this was also another topic that this was a topic that that has to be addressed, because there's a lot of things that needs to be that needs to be addressed, especially when you're working in the education system, or any other field for that matter, because again, it can happen anywhere, and it's important to build awareness, but also to look out for each other. So with that said, let's move on to our next topic, and this will probably be the last topic that we cover in our conversation, and this is pertaining to the black pill theory. So opening up discussion, the black pill. It was interesting because I was talking to Arnell about the black pill theory, and he was the one that brought it up when we met up at a coffee shop last Thursday. And so I did some research on I did some research after having the discussion, and the mindset behind the black pill theory is daunting, to say at the very least, because it's an extension of a negative mindset, but it's not necessarily a nihilistic viewpoint, but you look at things from a more pessimistic view. Like there's always something you always expect that there's going to be something bad that happens, or essentially you feel like you set yourself up for failure every time you make a decision. So I think if anything, I'm gonna have Arnold talk a little bit more about the black pill theory.
So the black pill theory, in short, is, as Simon said, is just pure pessimism. So to put it into perspective, think of it this way: let's say you're having a job and it's something you like. A person from the black, it's a job that you love to. A person from the black pill theory will simply tell you you're going to be working as a damn slave for the rest of your life. And even the fact that you're going to love your job for the rest of your life, this person will discredit the fact that you love your job and will just straight up tell you you're going to be a slave. And another great example is, hey, for example, you probably have what you call a nice car. You recently bought it. That pessimistic person will simply say, "Oh, look, it's gonna you brought yourself into debt. Have fun with that." Sure, cars are expensive and all that, but it's something worth celebrating for, because not a lot of people take this drive to get a car. And these people just straight up give up on everything. Not even a single hint of positivity is there. So what's interesting is that the black pill theory originated from the incel faction of things, and incels, like, it's kind of like a subgroup in the internet that, in short, or no, sorry, in long, it means involuntary celibacy, if I said that correctly. These are the people who they struggle to have romantic relationships, and they just outright give up, and they're just gonna be. These are the people that I know it's a stereotype, but these are the people who buy bathwaters and all that, who spend so much money simping for one e-girl on a live stream or on an OnlyFans and all that. These people are absolutely, they're lonely people, but they're very pessimistic about it. Like, they don't want to do anything about it. Like, if they smell like shit, they're not gonna shower and all that. These people have no self-worth whatsoever as well, and that's how, like, the black pill mindset started growing, because of these guys are a legit group of people, and they ended up their ideologies ended up manifesting into this theory called the black pill theory. That's how it was born.
Yeah, when I think when I thought of when I sorry, incels just leaves the word incel in itself just feels very just leaves a rough taste on my mouth. Like just saying it just like has a bitter taste there. And
Just
part of
hearing
it,
it feels pain.
come again?
Just hearing it kind of feels a little hard to the ears.
Yeah.
Theories.
Um. But
Just for those who are really interested in knowing what incels are, there's an infamous criminal case by the name of Elliot Rogers. He is known as the incel king, and unfortunately he claimed lives because of his of the things he's done and thought about. And it's a really interesting case study, and a lot of YouTubers covered it, but I believe Coffee House Crime House covered it the best. So the case is called Elliot Rogers. You'll see it by Coffee House Crime House. It outlines everything that happened prior to the crime scene, and it's gonna even like show you it's like the narrator himself. He's gonna like give you an in-depth detail to what was going on Elliot's mind at the time. Because of that, like, everything just snowballed from there, because he started out as an innocent kid, but because of his like failures to, like, he struggled with relationships, and that snowballed into something a lot more worse in the long run. And eventually he had to, like, take out his frustration towards innocent people, and it's really unfortunate. So for those who are interested, feel free to search it up if you want to know further research on, this sub faction in the internet called the incel community.
Hmm. That's another thing I've noticed too, is that with the internet is great for building up communities, right? And a lot of them have support groups to where people share common interests, and that in itself was where uh a lot of bonds happen. But it also has served as a double-edged sword, partly because while there are good support groups out there, on the other end of that scale, you see other support groups that support the wrong things, right? And the Insta community is a perfect example of that. You have Reddit pages out there, or for other forum groups out there, even Facebook groups, where people have discussions about things that they've experienced, like being rejected by girls, um, even so much to the point where like malicious intent is expressed in ways that even I cannot describe. Like words cannot describe the amount of disgust that I have of what they plan to do to the other party, or what their intentions are, because it's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting in its nature, the way they think. And it's because, and again, it's because they feel that because they can't get they can't get into a relationship with a girl, or because they can't find it in themselves to be talking to girls, or they get rejected, right? They essentially feel like they deserve to be punished, or they expect something out of it without having to work on themselves in any way, shape, or form.
And what's insane is that these these are the same people too that blame the people who successfully have relationships for having an unfair advantage, quote unquote. Like if I, for example, there's gonna be some incel dude passing by a couple, and he's gonna blame that guy for being insert generic excuses like, oh, he just has better shoes than me, or oh, this guy has a beard or whatever. They're gonna find that one thing they're lacking according to them, and they're just gonna hold it against the dude that they're jealous of. It's insane because they'll always find a way to get mad at something for their shortcomings, rather than saying, oh, maybe because I didn't approach this properly, I should improve myself with my social skills and all that. Nope, none of that. They're just gonna blame it on, oh, society did this to me, or oh no, I didn't tie my shoes or whatever. They're gonna find every damn excuse to justify their really pessimistic ass fucking mentality, and it's crazy because they know it themselves that they're the ones at fault, but they just, but they'll just find another way to take the easy way out, and it's crazy.
When you take negativity to a whole new level, basically, at this point, it really, that's what it feels like.
Like their judgment has been blinded, and they fail to see
Yeah.
other things. Like instead of like working on themselves, they just choose to blame whatever they basically choose to blame whatever is around them, right? And you know, we've all come across our fair share of moments where we've been rejected by by people that we like. And but that doesn't mean that you're set for failure. Just know one thing, guys. Even if you get rejected, right, it's not the end of the world. Just remember also that you still have things that you can do, and let it even if the person doesn't see you in that way, and you guys are still friends, that's still also just as good. Um, let this also be an opportunity for you to find ways to uh, improve yourself. See things that you can do to make yourself better. Whether that be uh, finding a new hobby, going to the gym, run, or even work on things like personal development, like learning how to talk to people better. Yeah. There's the internet. While there are negative support groups out there, uh there are positive support groups that can help you to improve your that can help you to improve your personal development for the better. And that's something that we need to think about. And anyways, my personal philosophy is that, you know, being rejected is not a bad thing. It just means that it just means that uh, the person may not be right for you, and that's okay. Or um, even if you got into a relationship, right, with her or him, right, um, you would want to make sure that at the end of the day that they're happy with the decision, right? Because nobody wants to be in a relationship when the other partner uh does not show the level of love that you show them, right? And that in itself just feels forced, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a similar philosophy in a way. Like negativity will always come in. Sometimes a constant, sometimes it's not, but then it'll come in. It's okay to be a little negative, yes, to think about it, but not to let it. I would say, judge, like, let it guide your decisions, what you do with your life and whatnot, because a negative will always have a positive in some case, and it might not be in that area in particular that you'll get positive in, but who knows? You might get positive in another area, and it'll drive you forward. Focus on those kinds of things that come in. Don't always focus on uh like I'm never gonna get this girl, or I'm never gonna get past this stage of my life, or in this stage of meeting people or socializing. But you're always always focus on the positive. Like, hey, at least I talked to a person. Hey, at least I they gave me some form of recognition in a way.
Hmm.
It's good to always have that positive thought. Even something as small as that, it goes a long mile. To be honest.
I kind of agree with Kelvin. As a lot of math teachers will always tell you, do negative, become positive, okay? Very simple. But honestly, I really like that mentality because uh, Mr. Puff Puff has one of my favorite quotes. It's all in the mind games because a lot of the times people fear failure. It's
Mm.
because that's what they're telling themselves. Because honestly, for those who are struggling with anything really, just take the chance, have some fun with your life. Because a lot of us here, we're all pretty young here, and we still have a lot to look forward to, especially tomorrow, the next day, bro. Heck, in the next 100 fucking years, man. I mean, look, think about it for a minute. There's this guy, Alexander the fucking Great. He was our age, and he was like kicking ass, bro, because he was motivated. All right. And if some dude thousands of years ago can kick so much ass, I know everyone in this chat and even and everywhere really, they can do it. I know it's hard for sure, but if you can take the chance to like try, it'll be an amazing learning experience for sure. And even if you fail, it's an opportunity to learn, and that's why I like being a loser because you have the most chances to learn, and it goes a long way. It's one of my favorite lines in Megamind, the movie. Being the loser is always the best part, so you always learn.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no great things start with a great start. Basically, in a way.
I like that.
Is that right? I think I said that wrong.
But we gotta all be like Earl. It's on the mind games. Victory's forever. Pain is temporary.
Man, think.
Also
Never
important.
let the enemy know what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Super milk coins.
Also,
If only she heard that now.
nah, nah, nah. No. I also want to add, because everybody wants to be in love and everybody wants to be in a relationship. And that in itself is something that every that a lot of people want. But you also have to take this in mind. And this is coming from a dude who has been single all his life. And it's this. You need to ask yourself, number one, are you ready for this relationship? Are you ready to be in a relationship? That's the first thing you have to. That's the first thing you have to tell yourself. It's one thing to say you want to be in a relationship, but but are you ready? Because it's kind of like going into a test and not prepare for said test. Now, I'm not saying you're if you're one of the guys that likes to break the exception and be like, oh, okay, I can just take the test and start it right after. That's the exception to the rule. But still, you have to ask yourself if you're ready to be in a relationship. And number two, are you able to support the relationship? Now, by that I mean, are you able to support them mentally, physically, financially? Because that's another thing that I feel like that goes hand in hand with the personal development process. It's like if you cannot provide for your partner in any way, shape, or form, right? uh, Then uh you my friend are setting yourself up for failure. Because if you don't
Wait,
have
Mister. Fan use calculator. Can you use calculator voice? I need scratch paper also. This looks like a hard test, sir.
Oh no.
How to win hearts, sir?
like
When you
Mister,
can't
very
budget.
hard. I need calculator, Mister.
yeah. But yeah, I think that's I think that's another thing to note if like uh when you're going through when you're deciding to get into a relationship is are you able to support that relationship to the best of your
Yeah.
to the best of your abilities, right? And
Yeah.
then
Love will come when you're ready.
yeah, it'll
And when you
come.
least
And
expect
just
it.
one more like advice, not just love, but in general, love yourself first before you start
Mm.
investing in a partner. Because when you guys are together, you guys are a team. And from what I've been reading from books, hearing from stories from friends, relationships is just straight up like cooperation, man. Because you guys are gonna be stuck with each other until you guys are like in your deathbed laughing at each other. You're gonna die first or something like that.
Choice of
But
words. Stuck.
you guys are gonna be close for sure. And you're gonna have to get ready for that for the next, I don't know, until you guys fucking mata or whatever. But yeah, love yourself first. Then you can start complaining that you're gonna be loving the same person for the next, I don't know, whatever. But yeah.
Oh man. And I think with that we've pretty much cover come to our ending point of the stream. I say for the most part this was actually a pretty good talk. We've had a lot of heavy talks on the side, but uh I feel like it definitely went well. And a positive out of this experience also is that I finally figured out how to get the mic to work. Sorry, Crispy.
Top 10 anime deaths.
Uh,
Number 47. Crispy's death.
yeah. We'll be covering more podcasts this summer, especially since especially since school's out. Good news is you will be expecting to see more content coming in from the block, and then so be on the lookout for that. Like for example, tomorrow we're gonna be hopping on the league stream. So be sure to check that out. A lot of toxicity and a lot of rage will be thrown out the window. uh,
Genshin stream when?
uh,
I'm
yeah,
joking. I'm joking.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
I finally also got my Switch back, so I'm gonna see if I can set up for Switch Smash stream at some point. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Ooh, Smash.
We'll see.
If you want to farm Pokemon, you're talking to the right guy, bro. I'll help you farm the EXP candy. we're gonna slap some raid Pokemon, baby. You know who to call,
It's gonna
man.
be
If you need
fun.
to farm EXP candies.
Like
Yep.
I said,
I'd join in, to be honest. It'll be
I would
fun.
like to join. I would like to do a Smash stream. I'm just hoping that the internet is the shit. Anyways, that's beside the point. You guys have been amazing, and I hope you guys continue to stay amazing. If you guys want to check out the replay of the podcast, be sure to check out the following socials here. You can actually check out the replay again on YouTube. It should be out by tomorrow. You can also check us out on Twitter, Instagram, as well as on TikTok. So, with that said, before we end the stream, is there anything that you guys want to mention to our viewers?
Hey guys, merch. Don't forget the merch. It's pretty drip, boys.
When will I get my merch?
Stay
Next
positive,
time on
peeps,
Dragon Ball Z.
basically.
Stay positive, but don't spread COVID.
Not that sort of positive, alright?
Remember,
Never
positive
plan,
vibes,
always
not
win it.
No.
Vibes, not COVID.
Oh,
We
yeah.
spread positive vibes.
When it
Positive
comes to
vibes.
dating.
Wait a minute.
When she
Always
eats more than
win.
you in restaurant dates, you know she's the one.
But the wallet's
Sure.
like, no, it's not the one. It's not the one.
Oh boy.
The wallet's crying. Help.
Oh boy.
That's when my dog started moving in the background. Hey.
All right. Well, with that said, we're gonna go ahead and find somebody to raid. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and raid my good friend Robin. I haven't seen him stream since last 2 years ago. That's hella long. But he's streaming from Japan. He's playing World of Warcraft. Let's go ahead and show him some love. Spam the emoticons. You guys have been amazing, and I hope you guys continue to stay amazing. Don't forget to check us out for the league stream on Monday. We're gonna be doing an Elden Ring stream on Wednesday, and the possibility of we're looking at the possibility of holding a Smash stream sometime this month. I don't know when. Don't ask me. About we'll get there when we get there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, you guys have been amazing, and as always, stay groovy, y'all, and peace out. Until the next stream, guys.
Yeah, I'm head out. Bye, guys.
Oh wait,
And good
See ya.
night.
let me try
My
one.
getting me on the phone.
Okay,
Hey, Simon.
wait, we'll talk.
Your mic is still kinda.
Staticky.
Your mic. Yeah.
Oh, the mic.
How long have you had it?
I've had this for about 3 years now. 4 years actually.
Ooh.
Oh,
Can't
the
my ass.
mic.
I hate this chair. How's my dad sit on this thing?
So Dale, Calvin, and you should have mics.
No, actually, this is Earl's. I'm just borrowing it for these kind of
Very,
events.
Very, very frustrating.
Why would you have to
Yeah.
wait?
I'm thinking maybe one of these days, if I have any extra cash, I might buy myself